Welcome everybody to the Coach and Bro Show. I am the better looking half, bro. I am the bro. The coach is away on assignment. I want to show you guys some before I introduce my my co-host, bro. Bro, this is a coffee mug, bro. This is a man's, no mamby pamby sissy Mary girly man coffee mug. This is a coffee mug. And speaking of real men, oh my God, bro, the legend I have waiting to come in here, man. You look up real man in the dictionary, you're not going to get Seth Rollins. You got to look up ass clown in the dictionary to get Seth Rollins. You look up in the dictionary real man, and this is what will come up. Go ahead, producer. There he is. Look at him. Look at him in his prime. His prime, man. The great Tommy Carlucci. What is up, Tommy?
What's up, Vinny Rue? Happy to be here sitting in for Coach. I was on Coach and Company this morning. Coach threw to me and I said, "What's happening, Coach?" I said, "But people can't wait. I'm sitting in today for Coach and Bro. Two crazy Italians are going to go crazy today."
All right, hold on, Tommy. We just uncovered something. Because you may have just buried the coach without your knowledge. So you mean to tell me the coach had time for Coach and Company today, but he didn't have the time for the Coach and Bro? Is that what you're telling me, Tommy?
Producer man could tell you that. I could tell you that. Yes.
Unbelievable, man.
Yep. He was on.
We're gonna have to have a little conversation about that. Hey, Tommy, I want to throw some out of you. I just did for, we put this audio show on Believe. I also do a show on Believe called Vince Russo Before My Head Explodes. And I came up with a list today of 5 movies where the sequels were better than the original.
Oh, wow.
Can you think of any movies off the top, Tommy, where you felt the sequels were better than the original?
Godfather 2.
That was on my list. Absolutely, yes.
Oh, God, that's a tough question. Not a lot of sequels are better. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I'll tell you what I had.
Go ahead,
Tommy.
tell me what you
You
had.
tell me if you agree with this.
All right.
I'm going to go from 5 to 1.
Okay.
5, even though, bro, it's funny because all of the first ones that I'm going to talk about were great movies. The first ones were great movies. So for the sequel to outdo them, I had number 5, Terminator 2. Because Terminator 1 was great, but we had more CGI and more special effects by the time we got to 2, which really made it a spectacle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good choice.
I got Godfather 2 because even though 1 was phenomenal, Marlon Brando, 2 was De Niro. And Tommy, 2 actually won the Academy Award. Godfather 1 did not.
And 2 told the story.
Yes, exactly.
The whole story. That was great about 2.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, Tommy, again, great originals, but I thought the sequel was better. I thought The Empire Strikes Back was better than Star Wars.
That you'll get an argument there. But
Yeah.
I agree with you, definitely.
You know what it was, Tommy? Because it's like wrestling.
Yep.
We learned about the characters in Star Wars. Then we got into the Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker story in The Empire Strikes Back, which I thought made that movie a little better. This is going to be a tough one for you, Tommy. This is going to be a tough one. And I'll tell you why I think it was better. I think Rocky 2 was better than the original.
Rocky 2 better than the original. Wow, that's a tough one for me. I loved Rocky 1.
I did too. You know what I think the difference is, Tommy? He won. He won in Rocky 2. I think that puts Rocky 2
Oh, that
over
puts
the
it
edge.
over. You're right.
Yeah.
You're definitely right on
Tommy, I swear to God, you living in Connecticut and everything for WWE. Tommy, I saw Rocky 2 the day it came out at the Smith Haven Mall in Long Island, New York, the Smith Haven Mall. Tommy, I swear, before or since, I've never been in a movie theater when Rocky pulled himself up on that 10 count. Tommy, everybody was up on their feet in the movie theater
Yes.
going nuts.
Same thing. Yep. Same thing
Yeah,
with me when I saw it. When I
I'll
saw
never
Rocky.
forget it. Never.
Yep. Crowd going nuts, man.
Yeah. Now, Tommy, I think this one is far and away because to me, this is one of the greatest um, acting roles I think in the history of the movies. I think Heath Ledger's Dark Knight was
Oh,
better than Batman Begins.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, what
Heath
a
Ledger.
performance! What a
Heath
performance!
Ledger reminds me of the guy who plays Joker.
Yeah,
River, I
yeah.
forgot his
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin
Joaquin.
Phoenix.
Yeah,
That's
they were
what
both
le
tremendous. Yeah.
they get so into their character, even on talk shows, they stay in their character. Heath Ledger was just incredible, man.
Unbelievable, unreal
That's
that
not even
yeah,
a match, dude. You that's
yeah,
way
yeah.
over the
I agree with that,
way
I agree
over.
with that. Okay, now let's get to some of the news, because rumor has it, Tom, I don't know, I'm gonna confirm this with you.
Okay.
At the Super Bowl, we saw Shane, we saw Vince, and we saw Taker.
Yes, sir.
Tommy, I heard through the grapevine you were the fourth of that foursome. You just didn't want anybody to take any pictures of you. Tommy, is that true,
Kayfabe.
Tommy?
There's no more kayfabe, but kayfabe. Kayfabe is gone. Nobody even talk. Yeah, I was the 4th guy in my living room.
How
By the way,
hysterical, Tommy, how great would that have been if it's those 3 and Tommy Carlucci?
oh,
How
yeah,
great would that have been?
I know all of them. I mean, I'm not bragging, and I'm not egotistical, but I know those guys, all 3 of them very well. I worked very close to Vince. I used to see Taker all the time, treated me with respect. Shane, I worked hand in hand. I was TV production for International. He ran the corporate end. So I used to talk to Shane almost every day. That was a crazy scene there. And by the way, where did Vince get that shirt?
That's what I said, Tommy. I said, Tommy,
No.
yeah, Tommy, here's what I said. I said, I am glad to see he was in good health.
Yeah, he looks good.
Regardless of the allegations and all that,
Yep.
we had seen a couple of pictures where he was looking really frail. And
Yes.
Tommy, I lost my mother, through dementia, and like that's where I went to immediately.
Yeah.
So to see Vince healthy looking, I was happy to see that.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, bro, like he was wearing Linda's shirt. What was that shirt, Tom? What was that, Tommy?
I have no idea. Put a flannel on. Pull
Oh
on a
my, you
sweater,
talk
dude.
about girly man
I mean, talking
shirts.
about
What
who has
was
money, you could have a sweater made for yourself. I mean, Jesus.
now,
I didn't know
Tommy?
what that
I
was.
don't know what that was. Tommy, we got Vince news, Tommy.
Yes.
And so, the story came out yesterday that there's no longer gonna be a federal investigation by the government into Vince McMahon. However, there's still the civil trial with Janelle Grant. So, Tommy, what does all this mean to you?
He's Teflon Vince, right? He's the John Gotti of our era right now. Here's the other thing. If they can't find anything on this, there's something going on, Vince. I mean, it just so happened that Janelle moved into his building and then she ran into him. She cried the blues to him. So there was and when we call in the business an angle, there was an angle with Miss Janelle. So the bottom line is it's a civil suit now. The man's not going to do any time at all. It's just gonna put out some, buckaroos, and he can do that.
And with all
Ye
the stock he sold, I mean,
Oh,
he's
man,
he's billions and
4,000,000,000.
yeah,
Uh,
billions and billions. I swear to God, Tommy, it's like, bro, how insane is it that there's always more to the story
yes.
when it's professional wrestling. There can never be anything on the surface, Tommy. There's always layers and layers and layers. It's unbelievable, and this story seems like that.
Yes, it is. It is unbelievable. When I saw that, I'm like, "Hmm." there's an angle here. And I thought that before. I mean, I don't come out and say stuff about, we tread lightly when we talk about legal stuff, what's going on with Vince and stuff like that. But you smell something, you get it too, Vince, right? You smell something's cooking here. And if they found nothing, well, the civil suit is just gonna come out and he's just gonna pay money. And that's the bottom line right
Yeah, I
there.
mean, Tommy, I was always in the back of my mind, did Endeavor, did Ari Emanuel, did they set him up? Did they want to push him to the side? Were they in cahoots? Of course, this is all, allegations. Were they in cahoots with Janelle Grant? But Tommy, I got to ask you this, man. I swear, this is the one thing with me. And I see a couple of comments. Guys, I want to tell you, we love you being a part of this show. If you want to get on screen with your question or your comment, do it with a super sticker or a donation, and we will throw you right up on the screen. Tommy, I got to ask you this, man. Bro, I know you're in the same you're in the same seat I'm in. When I'm reading these text messages, and we were around the guy as much as we did, Tommy, it's like either absolutely no way, or you and I did not know this dude at all.
That's that's it right there. No, you know what? Here's the thing, Vince. I don't think anybody really knows him. I swear to God, man, he could put on so many personas and work you into thinking that, oh, he's this type of guy or that type of guy. He's a chameleon, dude. I'm telling you, I don't know. When I saw those text messages, I'm like, I sat next to this guy in the studio when we used to do a radio show. I drove Vince when we were doing stuff back in the day for WBF. I was his driver, man. He was phenomenal, great. He treated me great, man. And then you see stuff like that. I mean, what kind of master, what kind of mind does this guy really have? And your family seeing that, your kids seeing that. Lord knows, I just hope they kept it away from the grandkids and
I
everything like
know.
that. So it's just crazy because you worked close with him, more closer to him than I ever did. And what do you think about it? Like, you think, did I really know this guy or not?
Yeah. Tommy, I will tell you one thing I never forgot. I was at Vince's house and it was just the two of us. And bro, I remember he looked at me and he said to me, he said, Vince, if you knew who I really was, you wouldn't like me. That's what he said.
Wow.
And I never, and Tommy, I never wanted to go down that road because I didn't want to know who he really was. You know what I'm saying? If there was a dark side to him or something, it's like, bro, whatever you do, man. I don't want to know. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's an incredible statement.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like he's scaring himself. Like, he's telling you, dude, you really don't want to know what's in this mind.
yeah.
You really don't.
Now
The
let
other
me,
time, the
let
other
me,
times he could
yeah,
just go about business and
yeah.
do what he had to do and come up with great shit all the time,
Now,
even with
Tommy,
you.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. My God, there was such a long, long relationship, many, many years. And it went back to his dad between Kevin Dunn and Vince, much, much deeper than us. I mean, do you think Kevin Dunn knew the real Vince McMahon?
Yes,
You do. Wow. Now, why do you say that?
because I think Kevin's a lot like Vince, and I think uh, Vince and Kevin, out of everybody that Vince knew and friends with, I mean, he was close with Pat, he was close with you, he was close with a lot of the old school boys, but Kevin, he confided to. Like, he would ask Kevin for advice and stuff like that. He would go to Kevin before he'd go to Stephanie and Shane. So I do think, and Kevin protected Vince to the nth degree, man. So I do think Kevin knows the real Vince.
Wow, that's
The
interesting.
real Vince.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's very interesting. All right, let's move this along. Again, guys, you want to be part of this conversation? Super sticker or donation, we will pull you right up. Now, Tommy, before we came on, you were a little hot about this bloodline thing. And Tommy, I got to tell you, like, I know you and I, okay, Tommy, we're old school, we're
Yep.
this,
I
we're that,
know.
we're all those things. Tommy, please tell me if you disagree with me. Bro, they had war games. The babies went over the heels. Story over. We're done at that point. But they continue to go on with tag team matches and 6 men. Like war games never happened. So war games meant absolutely nothing because the Bloodline the next week were doing the same thing the Bloodline was doing. How do you feel about this angle? Has it run its course, Tommy? Is there something they could do to inject life in it? What do you think, Tommy?
Well, here's my question. Where is the bloodline? There is no bloodline, guys. Recently on Sirius XM, Roman Reigns, the wise men are on, and Roman said, "We're only in the 3rd inning. We could run this for 3 years." Really, Roman? All right, as far as I know, currently, right now, Roman is out. He's out. He's out until they bring him back after probably Elimination Chamber. He's not even in Elimination Chamber. He's not even going to be on that show. So he's out. Big Jim Uso, he's got his own character. We know Jay is going to go against Gunther at WrestleMania. Jacob's doing his own thing right now. Tama Tonga's doing his own thing. Solo came back, beat up Cody Rhodes, which I think is going to lead to a match elimination chamber. That's my own opinion. So, can you tell me where is the bloodline? I don't see it anywhere. They haven't talked about it. They didn't talk about Solo for a couple of weeks that he wasn't on TV. How do you not talk about Solo when you had the biggest? Look at the difference between this year and last year. What was it all about? It was all about the bloodline. Now, where is the bloodline, Vin?
Yeah. Tommy, I got to tell you, because when you watch enough WWE programming, you don't have to be a rocket science. The writing's on the wall with everything they're going to do. It's so predictable. And it looks to me a couple of things, Tommy. Number one, they have signed a bunch of the Samoans that are waiting in the on deck circle. So they have signed more family members we haven't seen yet. Number two, Tommy, I guarantee you they're going to run the same Solo Fatu play that they ran with Roman and Solo. They're going to run the same exact play where Solo's now going to be the baby face and Fatu, because that's what they do, Tommy. They run the same play over and over and over and over.
I called that too. When we talked about it on the last one, I said Solo's going to come back a baby and he's going to go up against Jacob, because you saw Jacob the weeks that Solo was out was cutting promos. I'm the new guy here. I'm going to ramp things up.
Yep.
So it's all being picked up. We get it, man. We know what's going to happen here, right?
Yep.
Jacob's got to be the heel. Solo comes back. He's the baby face. He acknowledged the Ula Fala to Roman and kiss and make up and all that stuff like that. But you are absolutely correct. Jacob and Solo, somewhere down the line, it's going to happen.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Hey, producer man, how do I get Mercedes comments? Can you bring that up for me on the screen? I just don't want to misquote Mercedes of her comment concerning talent coming over to here we. Oh my God, Tommy.
I can't see it.
Can you tell producer man how old we are, Tommy?
I'm 68.
Producer man, where's my magnifying? Can I look through? Can I look through the top of a candle? Tommy, can I look through the top of my candle? Producer man, what are you doing to me over here? Where's my phone? Text it to me, for crying out loud. Here we go, producer man. Tommy, they think we're young. I mean, Tommy, the last time I could read print like that, I was 15 years old, Tommy. I think producer man's sleeping at the wheel. Producer man, where are you?
Oh,
it's something to the effect. She said something to the effect of, I don't want to mention who I want to come over to the AEW, because if I do, they'll be hired by the WWE. I believe it was something along that line. There we go. Yeah. Hey, now we're talking. Okay. Yeah. All right, here we go. J5 said, first off, I love how you've elevated the women's division with AEW, especially with this current program with Harley. My question, as a CEO, would you like to recruit for AEW? Mercedes, if I listed the people I wanted in AEW, the other place would sign them. Tommy, I don't know about that. I think Mercedes is a little high on herself.
Fuller side. I was
Yeah,
just
because
gonna say.
I think, Tommy, if there were people that the WWE wanted, they would be hired. Tommy, would you agree with that?
I absolutely agree. She is on her high horse. Her ego is out of control. Her ego is out of control here at WWE. She wasn't easy to work with backstage. I know that from a lot of producers there. So I think a lot of people were glad when she left the company, and she's such on her high horse. And I don't get it at all. But that's the way the business goes. And if WWE wants you, they're going to get you. They ain't looking at Mercedes saying, "Oh, look who she wants. We're going to grab them before it goes to AEW." Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
Hey, Tommy, I'm going to play the devil's advocate for a second because, Mercedes, I've never met her. I've never met her at all. I don't know if she's nice. She's not. I have no idea. But I do know this. Let's face it, Tommy. She probably got paid a lot more money from Tony Khan that she deserved. So, bro, if Tony Khan is paying her all this kind of money and paying this much attention to her and putting her on top of a pedestal, Tommy, we've seen this a million times. What Tony Khan is doing, he's creating a monster.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're feeding her all this money and giving her all this power, of course it's all going to go to her head. And I mean, man, Tommy, like in the wrestling business, man, you, unless they're the top guy making you all the money and you need them, you're never putting anybody on a pedestal like that because what you do, Tommy, is you hand them all the power.
Yes, you do. And I think she does have all the power there. I think she can nix whatever is happening in her matches or anything like that. So when you give people power like that, especially one of the boys and one of the women in the business, that's a bad move on a management part. Vince I don't think Vince ever really did it. I mean, there'd be a discussion and he would listen to Steve, as you know, he would listen to The Rock, but he's still going to do what he wants to do. I mean,
Right.
Warrior walked out on him when he was the hottest ever back in the day, right?
Yep.
So Vince didn't care, man. The boss was the boss. Tony's a little different, I think. He gets rolled over a lot. I think there's just not enough management there to help him facilitate this business that they have today.
Yeah, I'm with you, Tommy, 100%. All right, listen, producer man. Uh can you bring up that clip that I sent to you? I want to play this for Tommy and see what Tommy says. It's a clip of Jimmy Butler, Tommy, just got traded to the Golden State Warriors. And there was a clip that I found this morning. Producer man, how do I throw that up? Can we throw it up? Can we throw up that video clip? Bro, Tommy, he shit his pants during the game, Tommy. Tommy, I saw the clip. Like, this isn't doctored or anything. This is totally
No.
legit. Yes, that's his backside, bro. It's totally. He was playing like that, which, Tommy, segues us to Mando.
Yes.
Jimmy Butler, bro, take some of these freaking wipes, bro. You gotta freaking wipe that butt crack, bro. You gotta go between the cheeks, bro. You gotta do the grundle between the legs, the ball sack, everything. Tommy, can you imagine shitting your drawers on the court, Tommy?
He shits his drawers on the court. He better be going back, putting that Mando on there so you don't stink up the court or sitting by or playing in the game and his ass comes up against you. I mean, dude, what is that funk?
Oh, Tommy, he's boxing you out and he's putting that poop stain up against your
Oh,
chest. Tommy,
no.
what the heck's going on here, Tommy?
No, no, and you gotta take care of the Schnabitz, so
Yes, you got to, as Tommy says, you got to take care of the Schnabitz. And guys, let me tell you a little bit about Mando, which is freaking great, bro. Mando is a whole body deodorant, safe to use anywhere on your body, your pits, your balls, your thighs, your folds, your belly button, your butt crack, and your feet. Tommy, do you have the stinky feet? Or are your feet okay?
yeah, my feet are great, man.
My feet are fine, so I don't need it for my feet, but I
Yeah,
do need it for like the grundle and
yeah, the
all that
Grundle,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Schnabitz you need it for.
The Schnabitz you need it for. This was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal body odor was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. This is clinically proven to block body odor for 72 hours, bro.
Wow,
3
3
days.
days, that's
Yeah,
nice.
and guys, you great variety of flavors. They all smell wonderful. Bourbon leather, Clover Woods, Mount Fuji, or Pro Sport. And literally 12 hours after a shower, Tommy, did you know this? 12 hours after a shower, the average man's grundle, your odor level is a 5 out of 10 after 12 hours. So
Wow.
if you took a shower at 5 in the morning to go to work, by the time you leave work, you stink, bro. You
The
smell.
Schnabitz stinks.
Your Schnabitz stink. With Mando, Tommy, the average Grundle odor level is a 0 out of 10 after 12 hours, bro. How about that?
Mando's got it made, dude. They found a way to make the Schnabitz smell good.
every every time Tommy says Schnabitz, he's gonna pop me. All right, guys, you can get a Mando starter pack, and we got a great deal for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, customers will get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% of your starter pack. Use the code EXPLODES at mando.com. That's shopmando, shopmando.com. Tell them Tommy and his Schnabitz sent you. Tommy, I got to tell you something. One of the other topics, producer man, bring it up is the Starks kid went over to
Ricky Starks.
what's his first
Ricky
name? Tommy,
Starks.
Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
Tommy, I got to tell you this. I swear, Tommy, I'm seeing Ricky Starks go over to the AWA, and of course, I'm seeing all this chatter on the worldwide interweb. Okay. And Tommy, I think this is like the habit that we've gotten into. Tommy, there isn't one casual fan on this planet that knows who Ricky Starks is. Bro, the guy's good. He's a great performer, good looking guy. They have no idea who he is. So every time somebody like this comes in, oh, it's going to change the face of wrestling. Oh, it's going to do that. No, it's not, because you're playing to the same exact audience that you already have, Tommy. Ricky Starks is not going to bring new fans or casual fans to the product. He's a good wrestler on a roster of a lot of good wrestlers, Tommy, right or wrong?
You're absolutely right. They never built his character in AEW at all. And by the way, if they thought he could do something like you just said, he would not be debuting on NXT.
You're right, Tommy.
Not
You're right.
at all. They're gonna build his character there. It's actually gonna be good for him because I do think he's a talent. He can cut a promo, and he's not a bad worker in the ring. He's not a big guy, but hey, you can get over that with your character and your promo cutting and everything like that. So if Triple H and these guys thought, or Shawn Michaels or anybody else thought that he was above NXT, bet your bottom dollar they would have had him walking out on SmackDown or Raw. But they didn't do that.
Yeah.
He started out in NXT. So
You
we'll
know,
see what
Tommy,
happens with him.
It's amazing to me, Tommy, because here's what I always look at, and this is so simple, but it's very, very telling. And Tommy, I'm sure you and I, man, we look at the product from where our expertise was. So I am always looking at it from a writer's perspective. If you look at the Attitude Era and you went down that roster, every single person on that roster, what word comes to you immediately? Boom, boom, Godfather, Pimp, Val Venus, porn
Character,
star, yeah,
character, character,
you would
character.
be able, no matter who it was, Road Dogg, Billy, boom, boom. That's the problem. When I look at the WWE's roster, because I don't watch AEW, when I look at the WWE roster and I'm like, okay, give me one word that describes this guy. You know what it is, Tommy? Wrestler, 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 wrestler. They don't define these characters. A lot of great wrestlers on the roster, but unless you are a fan of great wrestling, you're not going to be interested in watching this, Tommy.
Yep, and you want me to give you a great example of that? I can name a wrestler right now, right? And you couldn't tell me what his character is. Austin Theory. What is he? He's a
We,
wise guy? I don't know.
we,
He's a
we
wise
can go
guy.
we can go back and forth. We can go back and forth with that.
He's wasted talent. They
Yeah.
got him with Waller. I think Theory could be a good single superstar, but establish a friggin' character. Give me a storyline. Give me some vignettes like we used to have back in the day. The only guy, and this is because of social media, I know what his character is Logan Paul. He's the Maverick. He's a heel. People hate him for a reason. And he's a hell of a worker, and he can cut a friggin' promo, and he can work with anybody.
Tommy, can I tell you why? I was just talking about that this week. Okay. Tommy, what they've done with the performance center. Let's be honest, Tommy. It's a factory. And they're making wrestlers in this factory. And they're all going through the same education, the same syllabus, the same criteria. They're all going through it. So they're all doing what wrestlers do. They're all saying what wrestlers say. They're all doing what they saw on television as kids. Oh, this is what a professional wrestler are, and they're all coming out that way like robots. Logan Paul never went through that system. And Tommy, I always say, man, this is the toughest thing for talent. And I can never put my finger on it because, Tommy, when I was on WCW, I wasn't a trained talent. But what I was able to do, Tommy, was put myself in the moment.
Mhm.
If this is my character and this is the situation you're putting me in, I am now going to react as if this were a shoot. That's what Logan Paul does.
Yep.
Logan Paul, every time you see him and every time he cuts a promo, he's in the moment. He's not playing wrestler where I need to say this here, I need to do this here. And my God, Tommy, when you watch him, he definitely stands out far beyond everybody else.
You know, that Rey Mysterio match, he grounded pounded with Rey, and then he high fly. That backflip he did off the top rope. Do you know what kind of confidence Rey has to have in Logan Paul to do that?
Absolutely. Yes.
Who's not a
Yes.
full-time wrestler? So what does that tell you?
Yeah.
When he goes into it, he's into we had Shane Helms on our show months ago on Behind the Turnbuckle, and he said, when Logan Paul's ready to go, he trained Logan Paul. He said, nobody works harder than Logan Paul. Nobody. That
Yeah.
tells you what he is like. And you're right. He is so believable in his character that's why people love to hate him right now. I'm a huge fan of Logan Paul.
I am too, Tommy. I agree with you 100%. And like Tommy, here's another thing, man, that just drives me nuts. Tommy, as these people go through the factory, Tommy knows, man, They are investing millions and millions and millions of dollars. Then, Tommy, they go through the system for 2, 3 years. They put them on television without a character, without vignettes, without anything. They're on TV for 2 months and then they're released.
Mhm.
When you look at those 10 people that were just released, Tommy, and you dollars and cents, how much time was put into all these people only for them to go through a 2, 3 year process for them to then realize, bro, they're never going to get over. Tommy, I got a question. This is what drives me crazy. This is a big problem in professional wrestling. Who takes responsibility for that? Like, nobody is held accountable. Tommy, you and I and Coach, we always talk about sports. Tommy, we know how important the role of a scout is.
Mhm.
Tommy, if you are a scout of a major league team and you've got like 2, 3, 4 busts, you're done.
Yep.
You're done. You're going to
Yep.
be held accountable. You scouted that guy. He didn't have what it took to make our team. Bro, you do that 1, 2, 3 times. Not only are they going to fire you, you're never going to get a job with another team. But yet we see all these people go through the system. We see all these misses, and nobody's held accountable for that.
Yeah, that's a big question there, because back in the day, you're accountable for everything. Even in TV production, you don't do something right, you're gonna friggin' hear about it. If you're part of that team with, Vince back in the day, if something's not right, you're gonna hear about it. I don't think it's like that anymore, Vince. I think it's more because there's more business people on the side. I mean, Triple H, we know, runs creative, but Nick Khan's not gonna get in the middle of that. I don't think Mark Shapiro, who are running the show there at TKO and WWE. It's just not a lot of and I hate to use this word wrestling, but I'm going to use it, wrestling people there to be accountable for all that stuff. You know what I mean? I'll give you a prime example. That guy, Giovanni Vinci, they let him
Yeah.
go. They
Yep.
did vignettes with him for weeks as this rich guy. He came off of Gunther's team. Remember that? He had the
Mhm.
ball head, good looking guy. They put him on TV 2 weeks. The second week, they buried him like in 3 seconds, and we never saw him again. That had to cost money. They had cars there. They made him look like he was this big rich kid, young kid, blah, blah, blah. That was his character 2 times, and then we never saw him again. How do you just throw the towel in on that stuff? It's crazy bananas to me that, okay, we spent all this money. Oh, he's not going to work out the second time. You put him in the ring for the match and he loses like in 3 seconds. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, Tommy. Yeah, and again, you got nepotism going on between Hunter and Sean, and I get it.
Oh, yeah.
But my God, bro, at some point, somebody's got to be accountable. Tommy, I swear, I remember when Vince like named me the head writer. Tommy, I told him right from the jump, Vince, if I don't help you increase ratings, fire me. And why did I say that, Tommy? Because that's what he was hiring me to do.
That's right.
He was hiring me to help get those ratings back up. If I did not achieve that, Tommy, I know I would have been fired and I would have deserved to be fired. We see so many misses through NXT, but yet it's the same people there.
Yep.
It blows my mind, Tommy, because that would not happen in professional sports. It wouldn't happen in entertainment. It wouldn't happen in either one of those industries. If you weren't doing your job, bro, you're done. You're
Yep.
gone. Let's give the next person an opportunity.
You're absolutely right, man. Yeah, I can't agree with you more. It's like it's like the Yankees and the scouts scouting these guys. Like they thought Peraza was going to be this big stud. He can't even get on the field. So somebody's accountable for that,
That's
saying,
right.
"Oh, this kid's a can't miss." Anthony Volpe. Oh, he's the next superstar. It's been 3 years. Nothing, man. I mean, he's played good, but not to where the level that these scouts said he was going to be. They were untouchables for years because I'm a huge Yankee fan, like you're a Giant fan. For years, for trades, who they could have got good ball players for. No, no, no. And now it's not panning out at all. Volpe's tough and everything like that, but he's not where they thought he was going to be. He's here. They thought he was going to be up here in the Jeter world, and that just ain't happening.
And somebody's head's gonna roll.
Yep.
Somebody
Yeah, they did let go of scouts. They
yeah,
did.
that's not just gonna be okay because
Yep.
you know why? Here's why, Tommy. If you made a mistake with Volpe, then who else you gonna make a mistake with? So,
Yep.
like, I'm looking at these 10 or 11 people that were just let go, and I'm like, okay, who signed these people? Whose decision was it for them to go through the process of 3 years only for us to then realize, oh my God, they're never going to get over? And nobody's head rolls for that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Here's another person I want to talk about, and I talked about this on the last word. We were talking about there's a lack of women superstars. Charlotte comes back, but there's still a lack. And I said on the show, man, they are sleeping on Sonya Deville. They got her in this dumb tag team with the worst name ever, PFC, and a week later they let her go. They didn't let her grow. Take her away from her. She was a good single superstar back in the day when she was with Mandy Rose for a while. She had a great look. She can work in the ring. She blew her knee out, right? And she was out for a year and never. And then they put her in PFC, Pure Fusion Collective. Who the hell thought of that name? I don't even know what that means.
And
But they should have took her away and made her a single superstar, and they didn't. And she gets cut.
And Tommy, I tell you all the time, okay, here's the problem with Triple H, and you can freaking argue with me all day long. I don't give a crap. Triple H is not a writer. I don't care if you won the world championship 27 times.
Nope.
That doesn't make you a writer. And there's a huge difference in writing a show and booking a show, because you're writing a show like it's a television show. You're booking a show according to what matches will be the best. So that's all you're going to have watch your show are people that love wrestling matches. When you're a writer, you're writing for everybody. And Tommy, here's my point with Sonya Deville that you bring up, because if I am the writer there, bro, what was the most known thing about Sonya Deville? What was the most known thing about her? It was nothing that happened in a ring. Bro, she was being stalked.
Yeah.
She went home one night, the freaking stalker was in the house.
Wow.
It went to trial. That's your story. That, as a writer, that's my story. Sitting down with this wrestler who's being stalked as a shoot, who's afraid to go out in public. They found the dude in her house. Tommy, that's the story. That's what would have separated Sonya Deville from everybody else. Tommy, I'll give you another case in point. They just brought Charlotte Flair back.
Mm-hmm.
And they show us these vignettes of her on a yacht and this, that, and the other thing. Tommy, I got to tell you, on Charlotte's Instagram during her rehab, Tommy, bro, she was putting out these vignettes of, training and rehabbing. And I was looking at her and I was like, this woman is a monster. She is a the training she was going to just to get back. Then, Tommy, on top of that, we find out she's getting a divorce from another wrestler. So, Tommy, what are we going to do? We're going to completely ignore all of that. Oh, she's on a yacht and she's got a lot of money. Then she goes out there, week number 2, they're booing her out of the ring, and nobody knows why. Why are they booing Charlotte? Because, Tommy, they don't see these things. They're just seeing wrestling, Tommy.
You're absolutely right. And the guy is on the roster, Andrade. That was her husband.
Exactly. That's your story.
There's
That's
your story.
right there, bro. But no, we're going to ignore everything.
Yep.
Hey, producer man, can you bring that up there for me, bro? This is Nonsense McGee. That's a great wrestling name, huh, Tommy? Nonsense McGee?
Yeah, he ain't fooling around.
Hunter is 100% a writer. As a writer myself, even being part of the contribution of creative makes one of a writer. Hunter does far more than just book. He's not perfect, but in my opinion, he's damn good. Well, you know what? Nonsense McGee.
That's nonsense.
That's nonsense, and I'll let that be your opinion. You're entitled to
Yes,
your opinion, but nonsense, you got to understand something. I am a writer by trade.
that's
So
right.
I know what it is to write one of these shows. I know all about Tommy hooks going into commercial,
Yep,
what you do coming out of a commercial,
yep.
a cliffhanger at the end of the show,
What's the
a beginning, a middle, and an end. Tommy, this blows my mind because you were there and you know that. The basic fundamental of writing a wrestling show is a beginning, a middle, and an end. Vince opens up the show with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
right?
He sets the tone for the entire show.
Yep,
We have little vignettes throughout the show.
yep.
In the middle of the show, there's another big beat. Then we got little vignettes to the end of the show. The end of the show, you pay off what you started at the top of the show.
That's
Tommy,
right.
can somebody explain to me what's his name? Nonsense McGillicuddy?
McGee.
McGee. Tommy, here's where I go nuts. They put their biggest stars in the first segment, and then Tommy, we never see him again.
Yep.
Why would you put your biggest stars the first 10 minutes of the show and never use them again?
How about this? 2 weeks in a row, they did it with the Yeet Man. 2 weeks in a row, he
Yeah.
opened up the segment. Here's the other thing too I want to talk about because you wouldn't have did this. You pay big money to be in Nashville. See it. You want to see champions. We saw Rhea Ripley backstage.
Yep.
Backstage, she's the women's champ.
Yep.
You mean to tell me she couldn't come out after that tag match and say, "Io Sky, and by the way, we're not going to wrestle for 3 weeks," which is the dumbest thing ever. I've never even heard that before. Here's another guy, Intercontinental champ. The guy's bigger than life, Braun Breaker. He has a cowboy hat on. He faces AJ Styles, and they don't say two friggin' words. You don't bring him out in the ring and do something with this guy. AJ was in the middle of the ring. Bring him out there or do something. You pay big money and you didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You see nonsense. You're saying Triple H is a great writer. Why ain't we
Why would
doing nothing with that?
Yeah, and I just gave you an example right
Oh,
then
yeah.
and there.
Tommy, here's their new thing, which cracks me up. Somebody will be in the back, with Nick Aldis. Okay. Then that wrestler will walk away from Nick Aldis. He'll run into another wrestler.
Yes.
Then he'll make a right-hand turn. There'll be another wrestler. You know what vignettes I was just looking at, Tommy, when I was reviewing the show? Okay. This is what we've gone to what we have now. Bro, we sent Vince, Jerry, and Pat to Victoria, Texas, looking for Stone Cold, bro. Pat and Briscoe are dressed like cowboys from head to toe. They're looking in all these shady bars. That's the extent we went to. Now we get, okay, I'm here. I'm going to walk 10 feet. You're going to come here. Then I'm going to go this way. Oh my! And you're going to tell me that's great writing, Tommy?
Yep. It's well, look at the characters you had too, by the way.
Oh God, Briscoe and
They don't do
Patterson.
that. They
No.
don't they pull Rhea Ripley backstage and how dumb would you ever do this? Did you ever say, "We're gonna meet in 3 weeks"?
Oh God, no. God, no.
That's
Jeez.
bananas.
She- uh,
She's
uh,
the women's champ. You're in Nashville, big time city, right? And you don't bring her out?
Tommy, I'll bet off you. Not a nonsense. Are you listening to this nonsense, McGillicuddy? I'll bet you one up, Tommy. Imagine this happening on Vince's dime. Okay, Lyra Velcro wins the Intercontinental title. Okay, before she ever has a successful title defense, before there's a title
I
defense,
know where you're going.
she has a match with Bailey to be in the Elimination Chamber, and she loses. They don't even give her one successful title, and this guy's going to tell me Triple H's a good. Are you out of your freaking bird?
You just made her go from here to this. Why do I care now?
Right,
She just got beat.
And why would you book it that way? There's
Yeah,
not 100 other girls in the roster Bailey could beat.
of course.
Oh, Tom, we can go on and on all day. All right, Tommy, tell everybody, man, where they can reach and see
You
all your
want
stuff, Tommy.
on X and Instagram, it's BTT_Tommy C. I'm on every night with Coach and Gabby doing the last word. We're up straight up at 11 o'clock because we never know what's going to happen on Raw. But it's been like 2 hours and 28 minutes every week. But straight up at 11, we got the last word, and we talk about everything. We talk about Raw, what's going on, and we just go from there. So catch me on YouTube, all over the place, on Stadium. We're on DirecTV, Amazon Prime, man. We're all over the place, man, and I just love it.
Yeah, that is awesome, man. The great Tommy Carlich. You guys, for me, man, if you've never been a member of my Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/Russo TWC. Get a free week of the brand, man. We let you sample us. And if you want to join up, bro, we got tiers starting at $3, $3 a month, man. Patreon.com/Russo TWC. And remember your Mando, bro. Use the code EXPLODES, shopmando.com, shopmando.com. That is it, everybody, for me and Tommy. We'll see you next time.